As you guys know, I'm very passionate about supporting indie game companies, and in the air of Black History Month, I wanted to highlight 10 Black-owned developers and their latest projects that you can support right now. From co-op brawlers to emotional visual novels, many of them offering new and unique ways to tell stories, and our industry is richer for it. So let's get started. First, I want to talk about a game company called Decoyd Games and their latest game called Swim Sanity. Decoyd Games is a video game company founded by two brothers who strive to be a symbol of inclusion, diversity, and inspiration in the game industry. Their latest game, Swim Sanity, came out in 2020, and it is an underwater co-op shooter where you team up and use a variety of weapons and power-ups to fight sea creatures. This game has won several awards, and I love that it incorporates innovative gameplay while also evoking a nostalgic feel with its design and general look of the game. It just looks to be a fun time to spend with friends. Next, let's talk about Nighttime Studios and their game Chronoghost. I couldn't find much about these developers, but I still wanted to talk about the game because it looks really good. Chronoghost is a puzzle adventure game that came out in 2019. The game places you in the role of the Chronoghost, who is tasked with using their new powers to prove their worth to the spirit of time by stopping, slowing down, and speeding up time. It looks to be a great and engaging platformer. I think the addition of time mechanics is super interesting, and the lighting of this game is just my cup of tea. I have a thing for bioluminescence in games. I don't know why. I just love it. Next, let's talk about Momopixel and their game Hair Na. Momopixel is an incredibly impressive solo game developer striving to create games with more color, a higher standard, and moral truths. They describe themselves as a bubbly person with a dash of shy and not want to hold their tongue. And their game Hair Na reflects this perfectly. This is a beautifully developed game originated as the answer to a brief. What are the stresses that Black women face and how can we address them? In their words, Hair Na is a response to the perverse action of touching a Black woman's hair without permission, the microaggression of assumed authority and ownership of Black bodies. This game was widely shared in social media when it came out. I love the idea of using a video game for social commentary. I'm really excited to see what Momo does next. Now let's talk about Super Retro Duck and their game Tiny Bird Garden. Super Retro Duck is an independent game developer made up by only two people, a husband and wife actually, which I think is so sweet. They make everything from the programming, the art, the music, everything. Tiny Bird Garden is a casual simulation game about collecting adorable, colorful little birds. You customize the garden they live in, you talk to and interact with them, you dress them up in little hats. Ooh, puberty's hitting. I feel like this is the definition of a cozy game. It's a low pressure, low stress game that you can play whenever you want to pick me up and need a little dose of just feel good. So it's so stinking cute. Next, let's talk about Threefold Games and their latest game, Before I Forget. Threefold Games is a game developer made up by two women who are striving to make games with strong stories that explore different perspectives. One of these women, Chella Ramanan, actually co-founded the POC in Play organization that focuses on increasing the visibility of people of color in the industry. Their latest game, Before I Forget, tells the story of a woman who is living with early onset dementia as she collects objects that remind her of her life experience and piece together her memories. It's introspective, heartfelt. This game is another example of how video games are an incredible tool to help us experience other perspectives. And I definitely see myself ugly crying to this one. Let's move on to Neil Jones and their latest game, Aerial Knights Never Yield. Neil is a multidisciplined game developer with experience in a broad variety of projects, and their latest game, Aerial Knights Never Yield, is an endless runner platformer that takes place in a futuristic Neo-Tokyo style Detroit where you jump and parkour over obstacles. This game looks perfect to get a quick dopamine hit. It's just pure, unadulterated fun. The visuals of this game especially are absolutely stunning. They remind me of the movie Into the Spider-Verse, which is one of my favorite animated movies of all time. So yeah, it just looks amazing. And the soundtrack is also pretty great. Next, I want to talk about Veritable Joy Studios and their game Validate. Veritable Joy Studios is a Chicago-based studio working to bring authentic, heartfelt games about people of color. In their words, our studio is dedicated to crafting games that place people of color and LGBTQ+ characters at the forefront of the narrative, in the hopes that we can be the change that marginalized communities want to see in the gaming industry. Doing God's work, honestly. Their latest game, Validate, follows the story of 13 struggling singles navigating the hard realities of love and life and just growing up. This is a cast of 20-something millennials who learn that growth does not end when a person comes of age, but that it is only a precursor to a lot of midlife crises. Sorry, I got triggered there for a second. I mean, this game just looks so fun, and it's one of those games that I wish I had when I was younger. I just love the character design in this game. They're all so inclusive. I'm in love. Next, I want to highlight a game company called Glow Up Games and their game Insecure: The Come Up. Glow Up Games is a game company centered in innovative storytellings about Black and brown joy. The company centers around the belief that game developers must focus on the narrative power of voices outside the mainstream. In their game, Insecure: The Come Up, you make your way to LA, where you use the power of hustle, heart, and hype to build your new life. You navigate the messy business of adulting, learning to define yourself, fight for your city, cultivate your crew, and nurture your closest friendships. I just love how positive this game is, and it's a mobile game, so you can use it on your phone, which I think is pretty cool. Next, I want to talk about Kat Small and her latest game, Sweetheart. Kat is a director of product design who also makes video games. She describes herself as a Bronx-born and bred creative leader. In her latest game, Sweetheart, players are challenged to survive 1 week as a teenage girl from the Bronx named Kara. The developer describes the game as a slice-of-life game about microaggressions, race, and gender. The game includes small interactions such as swiping your phone in the morning to wake up, getting dressed in the morning, and commuting to work. And you can also see Kara's stress levels as she interacts with other people. I love a slice of life game. I feel like they're really underrated, and I especially love them when they have some kind of social commentary. Last but not least, I want to quickly touch on a developer and game that I spoke about in my indie game list I made couple weeks ago. I don't want to repeat myself, so you can go ahead and check that video if you want to hear more about this game. And that is Studio Xavier and their game She Dreams Elsewhere. Studio Xavier is a one-person developer, which is super impressive. They describe themselves as just a guy who loves games, movies, and weird stuff. I love that. And the game She Dreams Elsewhere looks absolutely stunning. I'm super excited. It comes out this year, so check out my video if you want to see more about it. And those are all the game developers and projects I wanted to talk about today. I hope you like this video and that together we can make the gaming industry a more inclusive and safe space for everybody. Check out the description box for more information, and as always, take care of yourself, have some rest, have some water. I love you and I care about you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.